with regard to the burial of the late President Edgar Lungu in South Africa or in Zambia continues and rages on. Different perspectives keep on popping up. But one thing, if you remember as the story proceeded, there are rumors earlier on that say he was found in possession, allegedly with the Zimbabwean passport, others allegedly with a passport from Eswatini, different theories. All those theories have been thrown out of the window. They've been disregarded by the family spokesperson, that is Munir Zulu. He says that's just a propaganda trying to put the family of the late president, that's his daughters and his children and his wife Esther Lungu, in disrepute. Otherwise, no such thing was found on him. But then again, others were questioning if he was even dead. And Shifatari responded, he says, "Don't even think twice. Edgar Lungu is dead. He died 2 days after undergoing an operation. He was not involved in drugs, neither did he have any other passport." So if you remember, amongst the rumors that were circulating to say, no, he was involved, just a bunch of nonsense that has been going on, and that is what Shifetari was disregarding there, to say no drugs or syndicates were found on him or implicated the former head of state. Neither a passport from Zimbabwe or Eswatini was found on him. He went into South Africa with his presidential name, that is Edgar Lungu, and he was being treated under that identity, a Zambian identity. Any other thing that has popped up is utter nonsense and should be treated as such. That's a communication coming from Chief Etayari. And then others were still questioning to say, okay, fine. If that's the case, then why is it that the family is holding the body to say no one is able to have access to it or seen it? Because there's information that has been circulating to say even the people that traveled for the ceremony in South Africa should have been 2 months ago or so, did not even have access to even see it. Even those that are from within the PF camp, the close people, some of them have not had access to see the body of the late president. So others are bringing up rumors to say there's a possibility he might still be alive, and that's what is being disregarded. Chief Etari ended up reposting his best. He had posted this some time back, but he reposted it just to re-emphasize his point. He says, "Don't be cheated. This is a death certificate of Edgar Lungu. This document is authentic." He says the details there, and says any other information that's popping up should be disregarded as nonsense, pretty much. So we wait and see. The family has not spoken since, and neither has government. So we don't know what's going on at this point, if there are talks outside the court or not. What is the loss of Chakwera in Malawi seems to be pleasing a lot of opposition parties. So Brian Apunda, who is part of the Socialist Party, Fred Membe's party, says, red-carded in the just concluded Malawi elections, over 110 members of parliament out of the 193 lost their seats, including 14 cabinet ministers that served under Lazarus Chakwera. So simply saying, even the current ministers in the UPND should get a warning of what has happened in Malawi is likely to be replicated in Zambia in 2026. And obviously, lovely Kayombo there says, "May this spirit of Malawi locate us," and to which Brian Apunda responded, "Amen," and amen, obviously. So the Zambian opposition is having a field day with regard to the results that has happened, where the incumbent president of Malawi has lost by a landslide, and a number of his members of parliament have lost their seats, including his ministers. So that's what's been referred to there. But in other news, something that has caught public attention over the past 24 hours is this image that you see on screen there. So that is President Hakainde Hichilema addressing pretty much, I think, all chiefs from around Zambia. So all traditional leaders from around the nation gathered. This should have been at Mungush Conference Center, the Kenneth Kaunda. Something interesting happened during this meeting, and that's where the conversation mostly is stemming from. So that is what happened. So Hakainde Hichilema criticizes chiefs for sitting during national anthem. Be proud of your country. During that same meeting where the national anthem was being sung, and sat it out like they were just seated. And the head of state, he says that you should be proud of your nation, and obviously the opposition. So different side of this story is being propagated on the news. some chief, they just sat through the national anthem, and the president is head addressing them. I'll play you the video where he was actually addressing the situation and where he was been asking them to say one Zambia, one nation, something of that sort. To which Emmanuel Mwamba responded and then attached the video that I'll play you later on of President Hakainde Hichilema addressing the chiefs. So Emmanuel Mwamba says, "Let's have respect for our traditional authorities, Mr. President. This was disrespectful," referring to the way President Hakainde Hichilema addressed the chiefs. So, Mr. President, this was disrespectful. First, you gathered them like cadres, referring to the chiefs, like you got those pictures that you saw. You gathered them like cadres. Then you made them out slogans. Refers to the instructions that the president was given to the chiefs. Some may choose not to sing the national anthem or stand for it. Chiefs have particular beliefs and practices, such as not attending funerals, burials, or speaking in public or standing for anyone. By now, you know that patriotism is not demonstrated by slogans, but a sincere love and respect for the country. What happened on Wednesday, 24th September 2025 is regrettable. So that's when that meeting was held. And then to which Steve Glory, the gospel artist, commented, and he even said, even the way he's speaking, even the way he's speaking to them, quite right, like the way he was addressing the chiefs. Obviously, that's a view coming from Mano Mwamba and Steve G or Steve Glory, the gospel artist. And yeah, so those were images from the meeting of the president. You can see Chief Mukuni in the center there in black, and a number of chiefs around him there that were part of that meeting. And obviously, Brian Apunda weighed in also. He attached the same video of the president addressing the chiefs, and he says, "Vakateka," that's Brian Apunda, "Vakateka, forcing traditional leaders, chiefs, to shout while you are busy dividing the regional appointments and tolerating United Party for National Development, UPND, in any way. Let your words tally your actions." Obviously, that's a view coming from an image from one of the chiefs that was present during that meeting. And Reverend Water also weighed in. Reverend Water Mambazi says, the refusal of a number of our chiefs to stand during the singing of the national anthem is a silent protest. The real question is, against what? I leave that to you to judge. I have said enough. So Reverend Water says what happened during that meeting is a protest by the chiefs. They are protesting something, and he is left it to the general public to speculate. What do you think they were protesting? It's not just because they don't shout in public, or they don't sing or stand for anyone or anything in public. It's a protest, he alleges there. And obviously different comments were coming in his own post there, and he says, Nadia Kapalive Wayaka? He asked the question. These reactions are very interesting indeed, and he laughs it off. Obviously, people are having debates from different sides of the aisle with regard, is it a protest or not, or are they just following the traditions? And you can have your view as well. And then let me play you the video of when President Hakainde Hichilema was addressing the chiefs, and he was asking them to be proud of the nation and to stand during the national anthem singing. And the slogans that he was referring to, Emmanuel Mwamba, stand by as I play you President Hakainde Hichilema's video.
One nation, one people. One Zambia? No. You should be proud of your country. I noticed that the National Anthem was being sung here and some chiefs were seated. Please, we must respect our country. We must be proud of our country. So I shall repeat. One Zambia, one nation, one people. We shall repeat. One Zambia, one nation, one people. Exactly one people. When I say Zambia, we must answer one nation. One nation, one people. One Zambia? No. You should be proud of your country. I noticed that the National Anthem was being sung here and some chiefs were seated. Please, we must respect our country. We must be proud of our country. So I shall repeat, one Zambia, one nation, we shall repeat, one Zambia, one nation, exactly one people. When I say
So that's what happened during that meeting. So people are having an issue with the tone of the president. Anyway, we can have your own opinion as we proceed. But on the other hand, Munir Zulu, that is should it be Lumezi, former member of parliament who lost his seat and now is in prison. Munir Zulu's state and correctional facility stripped me, opened my private parts. So Munir has sued the state and also the correctional service. He says, former Lumezi member of parliament, Munir Zulu has sued the state in Lusaka High Court, seeking declaration that its agents' actions stripped him naked and searching his private parts in front of other inmates is an abrogation of rights and protection from inhumane treatment and privacy. He laments on that. So it seems like Munir Zulu is having a bad time in prison, and that happened to him, and that's what he has sued the state over. And then obviously in other news, Kampiongo says we lose football because our minister goes to campaign in ward elections, Kampiongo. So Shwangandu Patriotic Front Member of Parliament, Stephen Kampiongo, says Zambia continues to lose football games because Sports Minister Iba Sinkando is focused on campaigning in ward election. Kampiongo rose on a point of order in the National Assembly on Tuesday after Nkando had responded to Mushinga Member of Parliament Emmanuel Banda, who had asked a question during that interaction. So Shwangandu, Member of Parliament Kampiongo, says that's why we even lose. It's because the minister is focused on by-elections in wards and around the province. To which James Mulenga responded, says, I did not know that a minister of youth and sports is a football team manager. So he simply says, in as much even if the minister did not attend those by-elections, he does not actually manage the team. So their losses is pretty much the technical team that is failing, not that the minister is active in other things. Because if you come to think of it, he's not only just a minister of football, he's a minister of sports, and there are various number of sports that he doesn't even go to. So it's just politicking from Kampiongo on that side there. Speaker explains the emergency tariffs. People only pay for electricity they consume, or yes, that is in parliament. And this is one of the things that people keep on fighting. The Speaker of the National Assembly say she's not supposed to debate on the floor of the House. The person that is supposed to address such an issue is the Minister of Energy and not the Speaker. She's just supposed to pretty much, coordinate the operation of parliament, not being part of the debate, obviously, that goes on. And then in a Daily Nation, and then he says, no single tribe owns Zambia. That's an extract from Haka Nation, emphasizes that there is no ethnic group in the country that is larger than others, as he rejects this division on the ground of ethnicity, and says that unity and shall be our national development, shall be key to our national development. He says during that meeting that he had with the chiefs there. And then obviously Bill 7 in key dangers, and 5 key dangers, that's according to the Mass newspaper, it highlights to say bloated government, bigger costs. So he says that's one of the weaknesses of Bill 7. And then Mass newspaper goes further to say inclusivity as tokenism, exclusivity, or pretty much like people who will be able to buy their way through parliament. And then presidential patronage, pretty much the president will be like the ultimate authority, and that's another weakness. And then rigged nominations, end of by-elections. So those are the 5 weaknesses that the Mass newspaper has picked out from Bill 7 that is being presented by the UPND. What is Malawi poll victory? Malawi poll victory, morale booster. That's according to the FDD, says they have been encouraged by what has happened in Malawi, and they are looking forward to 2026. What is the State House denies the UN letter? Government cannot confirm its authenticity. Obviously, there's a letter that has been written referring to President Hakainde Hichilema and the human rights of the journalists say they are not being given the right to express themselves, and that's what the State House is simply saying. The authenticity of that letter cannot be authenticated by State House as things stand. And then chiefs reject hate speech and tribalism. That's according to the Daily Mail. Residents celebrate. It is true. We have 15 hours of power in Chaisa, Matero, Chawama, and Garden compounds. So people are confirming the minister's stance there. And that's the news, ladies and gentlemen.